give me just a moment. Let the collective get up in here. Um, and we got some news you could use. For some of you, it's just as simple and relaxing as a period of rest, um, because you might need some thinking time. There could be changes in attitudes. There could be individuals from the past that are thinking, and their vision is changing a little bit regarding a situation. You guys may discuss what their grievance is, all right? And it could be the groundbreaking thing for the relationship. If this is a solo mission, the transformation, changes, and communications are still going to be pretty groundbreaking for you. It's a matter of utilizing gifts for some of you guys, like your visions, your gifts, and your abilities. They sharpen and shape into something where you had like an idea of what it could be like. Um, for some of you, it talks about just not being able to 100% visualize whatever you're manifesting, where you see yourself in a few years, or different communications that could be coming into you through meditation or rest and dreams. There could be some communication. And for some, it's going to be literal, like a text message or a letter. Others of you, we got some telepathy going on. Well, with the chakras aligning, okay? So if that's not a soulmate, okay, it definitely has some spiritual connection to your energy, and possibly mindset, as well as some direction on where this transformation is going to go. So we are going to get started with your reading, beloveds. I got my tunes back. Okay, I like a little tune in there. Um, it's just relaxing. So take a deep breath. Right? Everybody goes like Monday, poot. It don't bother Mondays ain't bothered me in a long time. Because you just appreciate every day for what it is. Get out the rat race, child. Make your own schedule. Um, so what a beautiful day. I send love and light. Take a deep breath. Enjoy the, I can't say sound waves, but the frequencies. Um, and we'll start with the huge judgment card up there with the Knight of Swords. Give me just a moment, beloveds. I got you some crystals out too, and a couple of crystal cards that we used for clarifiers. Let me send this link out. I'm so slow, y'all know that, so sorry. And yeah, for the month of June, there's some positive energy to tap into, for sure. If we can get past those feelings of doubt, and then for some of you, there it talks about like a moving, kind of like walking into a new lifestyle, and changing your image some. There may be a need to kind of like change the image, or you're thinking about it. There could be some dark, shadow work around that as well. And yes, I'm still pushing buttons, so hold on. It moves a little slow, but I'm almost done. I do hope you guys had a great day, that you are winding down. I'm going to put y'all music back on in a second. Okay. Almost done. Chain. Okay. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. Okay. So, let's get started. There's a big thing about vision. All right. And I love the way Spirit played with these crystal cards to kind of remind me of that. Because the cards that came out first were the deer and the oyster. And it does talk about something being hidden inside. It could talk about secrets, awareness, and a racing mind. Somebody may have some subconscious things that are weighing on them that could come up in communication. And I feel like some of you had made a final decision based on differences in beliefs to not have further communications with this person. But this is the vision. And notice that there's an aura with no shape, and then there's exceptional shape and form. So some of you guys, it just talks about where you are now. It's not where you're going to end up. And that's a good thing. Where there's growth, expansion, and progress, and there's like an elevation or some sort of enhancing in your gifts and abilities and doing the work. Now, for some of you, this situation could tie into that. Doesn't have to for everyone. Where there's a person that may want to communicate after some differences and they're kind of struggling with it. Maybe they aren't very expressive or communicative of vulnerable states, things that are hidden deep down inside. Okay, we're going to get to that. Just focusing on being stable and grounded, I think this person could have, their own works to do. And they're not as spiritually gifted or advanced to see that these relationships could also tie into the soul purpose and the work that we have to do. Sometimes turning out to be a little bit negligent, which is possibly why they are hesitant in communicating, or why you wouldn't think this person has two words to say to you or don't want to hear two words from them. I thought this was beautiful as far like as a change in perspective. And I also thought it was kind of beautiful for some of you where it talks about the visualization and your capacity and strengths kind of like advancing. So for some of you, the cat's eye, Leo Venus, evoking the bright eyes of a cat. Cat's eye is used as a talisman to ward off and protect against any evil or unforeseen danger coming your way. It increases agility, allowing you to fly beneath the radar of your enemies. And I love that because you got the Knight of Swords, possibly flying beneath the radar, or the Protector, okay? And then you have something big like this. So whether you have been attracted to some of the videos where we talked about karmic contracts, collective karma, the witch's curse and generational curses, things of that nature, your enemies, okay, or the ops for you may not even just be like this lifetime. We're talking about a revelation of some sort. It could be past life energy, and it also just talks about from the beginning of life up until this point. And some of you, this protection that you have is for you to feel comfortable and safe, being vulnerable, making some adjustments, releasing judgment, temporarily being suspended in the air to come into your true self. That's the only thing that's going to help. It's not losing weight. It's not changing how you look. It's not fixing your hair. It's not shopping and buying more clothes. For some of you that could be going through this identity situation, it's going to come from within. And then you have a very supportive energy here. Spirit is being very supportive, saying, temporarily through the work, the great work, right? This could be one of the biggest moments in your life, biggest changes, biggest conversations to have, um, a big moment in someone else's life or a landmark, kind of like, what is that, memorable event that could happen within a relationship, be it soulmates, twin flames, or even karmic partners. I don't know. I didn't really dig into that. But there's a Venus transit that's provoking love in the air. But there's also this raccoon that is hiding things, their gifts, their abilities. I don't know if some people are hiding who they are and what they can do from friends, family, or a spouse, relative. And then we have something ancient. So it's just like, what is there to hide or be afraid of? Because a lot of you guys are old souls, and it talks about being a part of a very ancient, beautiful collective. So there's that. And then Venus busts up in here, which could bring about some fated situations to happen during her transit, whether we want them to or not. That could be propelling this person who want to speak, or it could even be you, Pisces. I think it's the other people, but someone may want to regain what was once lost. And it talks about seeing through the shadow in a higher definition to access heightened levels of intuition by opening the crown chakra. For some of you, we have Cancer and Venus energy, where it talks about amplifying, cleansing, and opening. Double trouble, right? Double trouble gave me Gemini season. And it talks about unique optical quality. When you're looking through the stone, it could appear doubled. And for some, that's where this vision, this focus, this blurred versus like seeing what it actually is, that may be important in this conversation. Others of you, it just talks about negative energy being released for renewal, talks about transformations and metaphysical abilities being increased. Love that. Always a new beginning. You'll just have to decide when to start. We did have some cards come up that kind of talked about whether it's this person that does this thing that they're about to do again, or it could be personally for you, the person listening, where starting and stopping is something that they excel in, but it's always starting over. So it's like this, we probably need to work on finishing some things. If you notice that, like if you do a little bit of review, pros and cons, and a little bit of reflecting, it's not always about updating something, changing, because we got beauty, we have looks, we have like spiritual development, we have beliefs, technology, things of that nature. And it's not always about like advancing, upgrading, or changing. For some of us, it's the delivery, it's pushing through, it's completing, it's the perseverance. It's like the process for some is the work, because the process that you're taking for yourself, a relationship, a career, a job, a project, whatever, that process is more so what could be energy shifting, transmuting perspectives, your whole little algorithm or whatever, or how your chakras are aligned and are communicating with the universe. Because that came up. It's like in a past reading, it was recent past, there was a reading about friction, and anxiety and worries, which friction, when you're sending out signals to manifest, friction could lead to miscommunications within the group setting, a relationship, or just between you and whoever you pray to and whatever you're asking for. So just be mindful of that. For my starving artist, right? There could be a generous friend, all right? Or flip-flop, reverse, however that goes. But the conversation that may be had or the relationship in question may speak to someone who's very expressive and artistic. And then there's an energy of someone who may not be, but could be very supportive, who's willing to, they might want to see something. So if you guys are going on, plan on applying for anything or going on any auditions, submitting resumes, sending pictures for the first time, whether you're dating long distance or online, it's a very auspicious time to be attractive. And those that are struggling with that, it brings up the shadow energy and the questions about the details in the eye of the beholder, which is normally the person. Like we are, you are, um, the eye of your beholdation. Okay. Now, discussions about arrangements and things that are hidden may come up, right? We talked about that. Being too serious with life, um, and kind of like it's time for a new image is something that a person could be saying to themselves. It may be something that you're saying to yourself, okay, or it could be someone else. Now, focus was very important because you got the Knight of Swords, but you also have my dear here, which always talks about focus and determination, but with grace and charm. It's hard to have grace and charm when you're socially awkward or uncomfortable and insecure. It's also hard if you're knee deep in a brand new awakening and you're trying to hold it all together and stay grounded. But these are the opportunities that a lot of us ask for and manifest it. So be mindful of that. As the doors knock, right? The calling with the judgment card, are we going to answer? Could talk about answering a call or answering a calling. So there's that. The messages, like I said, with this Three of Cups, there's a little bit of gossip regarding like a family situation, possibly at an event. I don't know if there were any losses in the past or in the near future. Um, but I feel those things will be sorted out and it'll bring someone closer to their true self or understanding the situation and standing up for what they believe in too, because beliefs were here. Some of you could be dealing with a Taurus, trying to heal over some stuff, using your best judgment. You might have had to make a judgment call, and then this person, boom, surprises you, wants to talk about their deep emotions, or some things that may have been hidden, right? It's like, yeah, being shy and doubtful. For some, that could be an issue where it talks about withdrawing, being protective of one's deepest fears, and then them being revealed. Okay, that could come up in the environment. That's crazy. Feeling blessed and reluctant or gripping. So it's like those are the spectrums of what the energy could bring. And to bring into balance, it talks about sharing something. So and I ain't trying to like rat them out or whatever, but somebody could be sharing something because it benefits them. It could be part of their therapy. It's like, I got to get this off. Okay. So there could be just in the environment due to the transits, people being more generous than usual. I love that for June or whenever it happens. But it's also therapeutic for them. So if you're the type of person that feel like I ain't taking nothing from nobody or trusting a person because what are their intentions or what do they want back from me? I don't have nothing to give them. This may not be the best time for that attitude. If the cards are pointing to a more generous season or having more generous friends, ones that may want to communicate and express themselves, or that just could be my Pisces, because we are generous and expressive. Now, if there's any concern, I feel like those that may have concerns are very protective. The cards are asking you to be a bit more receptive and compassionate, possibly. And it talks about feminine aspects of Earth. So that grounded energy, the feminine aspects of Earth are very relaxing. Even in victory, there's still some sense of humility, right? And kind of like tradition or being reserved. So that could be a factor if someone, is considering the magic that they have within versus being overly expressive outwardly. That does come in time with age or depending on what type of relationship or job you're trying to attract. It could, bring some questions or some transformations about or even judgment calls. Now, a birth or a celebration, that's some toxic shit. I ain't in nobody's business. But how you handle this could show you great things. I don't know. If there is a birth of like literal life, it talks about a birth or a celebration, that activates something. I don't care if it's somebody having a child for the first time, dating someone with a child, I don't know, a neighbor, a relative, whoever's giving birth. It could be you giving birth to an idea, or this new you. Um, it's gonna be worth celebrating, and it's like whatever it is, it has the same kind of energy around it as with a newborn or new parents. Someone who is like hyper aware, because you looking like, is he breathing? Is it time to eat? Is he crying? What's wrong? Type thing. I know how that could affect relationships. If I'm private, kind of closed off and distant, and there's someone else who's very expressive, very attentive, and always wants to know what I'm thinking, what's wrong with me, am I okay, and trying to be my therapist, that could hinder things, but also be an aspect of life that could be your calling. It's just like not your calling in that private personal relationship, possibly use it in a profession. um, so there's that. Now, your highest potential, right? That came out not too long ago with the Page of Pentacles. But for some of you, your highest potential is in the present. I want to say, because of Gemini energy and some transits that Mercury is having. It talks about my writers, my creators, those of you that could work in communication and broadcast. I don't care if you're blogging or speaking or acting, or like I said, behind the scenes, writing. There could be something that you're supposed to be creating. I don't know if it's a talk show or a podcast with that Three of Cups, or there's just been some chatter or gossip about it. Um, there's that, okay? Could be your name being said in rooms that you're not even aware of with the chatter. But some of you, there is some chatter, some messages, some communication. It's physical for some and spiritual for others, given both the cards that came out. The Ouroboros, okay? And maybe they stopped communicating because of I was vulnerable and open and all that kind of stuff. And then, some of you may have come into challenges, because I did see some arguments, in a previous reading. So I've learned that I think, in my opinion, men have that boundary more so than women, where it's like, if I open up and I'm vulnerable to you and you throw any of that back in my face, or you make me feel stupid or uncomfortable about it, that's it. You would never get that part of me again, right? And because of that, they may have begun to hold things in, just sitting back, observing more and talking less, starting to notice stuff like, damn, you funny looking. In here getting on my nerves, questioning me, going through my phone. I never realized you look so funny, right? Or it could be the other way around. I would hate for that to be the case, but could be. Somebody hiding something, child. All right? Now, those of you that could struggle with the stopping and starting many things, it always talks about being stuck at this potential, but then there's untapped potential within. So it's like we haven't even tapped into the real deal. It's just the, understanding that we got something in us. You're great. You got some talents, you got some skills, you got some metaphysical capacities, but mastering them may be more favorable. Not being judgmental of them may be more favorable. Putting in routines in your daily life that are traditional to whatever your spiritual gifts are or your beliefs are may be more favorable. Okay. Now, a complete change of your lifestyle or work for some of you could be on the horizon. The beginning of a new lifestyle. The crisis part of this awakening or growing pain or whatever is over, so that's a good thing. And something good potentially is on its way. So I love that. You have the snake up here with the Three of Cups too. Talking about the gossiping. They could talk about, gifts and abilities. They could whisper about what you're doing, but I don't think you care, because this is your journey, right? And look, my little crystals or whatever. This is like your great work. And I feel like being around people who would even gossip or judge, right, could make someone who is big, great, ancient, extinct, an anomaly, right, a beautiful creature, feeling like this raccoon because of the lack of support or the gossip, and possibly people in the environment. So just be mindful of the company you keep, because there are some cards that pointed to possibly, moving around when it comes to certain networks or certain groups, especially if they got snakes and gossipers, because there's definitely something in the messages. And the Ouroboros is kind of like, it's connected to Scorpio. So you got two serpents, one snake, and then the great serpent. So it's like you may have thought that you had this one person, this ex, this old friend that was a backstabbing shitang, but it ain't got shit on this other person. The person that's hiding something. And wouldn't it be crazy if it was you? Like, it's like people have done awful things, yes. But when it comes to withholding your own gifts and ability, refusing to advance them, staying in a state of confusion or stagnance, to your own self, like, you could have something that you want or be somewhere that you want to be, but it's like the effort and the self-doubt. It's like, we kick our own ass at that point, which is why a time of rest to think and rejuvenate and regenerate, to get all of that out of the way, could be important. So whether it's this person who wants to do that in a communication style to benefit the relationship or the partnership, great. Or us having this real moment with ourselves to move forward and bring forth some sort of transformation. And it could help our judgment too. Some people that have a lot of prejudice and biases, it's some trauma deep down, I promise you. It's something that happened in childhood. It may have something to do with parents, regardless of if it's how somebody feels about women in general, men in general, kids in general, wealth in general. There's a belief that could be tied to a judgment or a choice that may not be favorable. And us transforming and changing should afford that to transform and change after becoming aware of this mystery or this thing hidden inside. So I don't know what that's about, but hey. Now, growing and expanding, that's dope. For some of you, that's the case, but these cards point to it not being any more time to waste. So even though the crisis sort of aspect of the journey has ended, if you're in a crisis right now, then holy shit, right? Maybe I'm ahead of time. But there's no more time to waste. So if you're considering marriage or looking for some sort of victory toward a goal or your progress, you don't have any more time to play with. So whatever we pussyfooting with, the light that's hidden within, and we trying to play face or whatever, whatever's coming to your awareness that's resurfacing, whatever things from the past that return, whatever patterns you become aware of, and those intimate things that you hide, the work is in all of that. Could be an invite. Could be date night for some of you guys, especially if you're, one of the people that could be contacted by someone who's had a change in thoughts, right? There could be an invite. And it could be kind of stimulating and hella communicative, getting a whole bunch of things clear. But also, like I said, that charm and grace being there with this great serpent, giving these chakras aligning and all of that. It could be some fireworks, child. Love that. Maybe this person brings you out of your shell. Yeah. For some of you, it's money. Like, money will bring you out your shell. You feel more valuable and worthy with the more money that you have. But I don't want nobody to be subjected to that. Like, human beings are worth more than paper currency, in my eyes. So someone's love is growing and expanding. And someone may want to start over again. They want to try it again. And it talks about a complete change. So maybe there may have been a change in their lifestyle, or maybe they want to change your lifestyle, but it does talk about a complete change. Maybe a complete change in emotions where I'm standoffish, sneaky, secretive, out of fear. I'm willing to go deeper. Venus is here, let's fall in love type deal. I think that's cute. Now, those of you that could be dealing with, stubborn people, their traditional beliefs, you being slightly unorthodox, and this judginess and this watching type deal. It could be a little bit of drama, like a stage play, somebody acting. But the good news for you is you'll be more abundant in the coming time than you know. Okay? You'll be more abundant than you think. So that's the benefit of, I feel like, fighting through or at least accepting any insecurities that you have, because it's like your destiny is going to take you to a place where you want to be. It's just the doubts and the self talk could be slowing people down or, you know, prolonging the work, quote unquote. So something good is definitely on its way. And for some of you, it's life changing or lifestyle changing. Someone could be communicating their feelings, or there are people, multiple people in the mix that are revealing things. Okay. Now, a bunch of people revealing how they truly feel from deep down below their hearts that's been hidden could go either way, which is hilarious. Now, a beacon in one's darkest hours. Now, you could be that for a person because there were some people in separation where somebody could have ran, ghosted the situation, whatever case may be, but they're not really spiritually fulfilled in certain areas of their lives. And I think you offered that to them, and you do that for them. So, if there's some yearning for that love, okay, you being the beacon of light in someone's darkest hours could be on the horizon. Those that could be making arrangements, and like I said, if it's a priest involved and death involved, you get what I'm saying. There could be arrangements being made, and somebody needs you to be the shoulder for them. And in that moment, it could strengthen a relationship or clear some air on something that has been hidden. It happens all the time. Your lives are starting to sound like a rom com. But we've already talked, in case you're just coming in, we've already talked about someone possibly hiding something, or something being hidden. And if it could just be how someone really feels like deep down inside or their deepest fears. And it also talks about for the solo journey, why? Just why? I see an 8-year-old coming down the hallway with two puppies in his hand for no reason at all. They were sleeping. Now they're gonna start barking and y'all reading again. So blame Christopher. Anyway, now, so after some time of rest, like I said, or not talking, recovering, or healing, somebody could say, "Now, have you got a better attitude on you?" Or they could be coming to you saying that they've changed. We'll see how that goes. Um, Starving artists, generous friends, making new work, potential at the lesser degrees, which means not really hitting on shit. You could, but haven't and ain't. That's where some actions need to be put behind, like the intention. For those of us that need to clear our vision, where it's like blurry some, we whimsical and delusional a little bit, but it needs to be, brought into something, action, practicality, writing things down, journaling, for some of you, could help improve some things. Your self image and success. So, any unresolved issues that you could have around your self image or success could be coming up. It may be due to a transit, it may be due to something a person tells you, or some gossip that you get wind of about yourself or about somebody else. So, keep that in mind. If there's a person wearing a mask, some of you could meet somebody and it's like they don't give you their real name, they give you like a nickname. And I don't think that's what they're hiding, but I think they could be dealing with deeper issues, like dealing with the self, like whoever they are outside of whatever they've dreamed up. I don't think it's a problem dreaming up things. It's just unresolved issues or trauma that could have caused one to move in that direction. Some people just do it because they fucking want to. But if trauma moves you in that direction, those unresolved issues could resurface in an event or a conversation. And somebody's saying, they may not let it off the hook until it's resolved. I don't see like apology. I don't see like deep regret, or I don't even see confrontation. But spirit could be saying until this is resolved, The work isn't done. You can kick, scream, and pray all you want to, but there's something that we done snuck around, tucked under a rug, or it's just burning to get out of us that is saying, yeah, we're not letting that slide. So, facing your inner truth may be significant. It also talks about taking bold steps to move forward. And I love that for a relationship. I do. I love that for an individual journey as well. Having absolute focus, persevering, determined. There could also be a person or you that's kind of like hard to keep up with, but someone's ready to rise to the call, rise to the occasion. And so the judgment card over there, when it talks about your calling and being protected, you shouldn't have fears because you're being protected. This is your life purpose, and we're here to guide you and protect you. That doesn't say things are going to be 100% smooth all the time or super easy. But I do feel, like I said, you'll have something to celebrate in the end, and something goes in your favor. Like you have victory over something, it goes in your favor. However that works. Now, things that are trending, some of the collective messages, things that are trending in spirituality besides the new enlightened ones and chosen ones and all them videos. It does talk about trending things. It also talks about in spirituality, like the latest spiritual things, waves of gossip, energy and aura magnetics. So be mindful of your aura, your energy, and how you see things. This could be, you know, a time where we have the capacity to manifest a little bit faster than usual. All right. So be mindful of what we're manifesting, something taking form, right? Because we talked about that, whether it's the relationship, you, and understanding an idea, but it goes from, this to sort of taking a form. So it just talks about something, clarity, even, right? Like things are more clear because it's just like a blur. It's just a ball, and then it moves into actual shapes and things of that nature, which reminds me of like meditating. So I think some people are possibly just wanting to understand how to do that better. And like, what do you even do with the information you see, right? So those are some things that we could talk about because I do guided meditations all the time. And if you hadn't checked them out, just go to the home tab on this channel and you'll see like all the additional channels that I have. The quantum healing, I think it's called QH. I don't know, TNLP or something like that. So I just say go to the homepage and you'll see it. Others of you, romantic connections arising from spiritual awakenings. Okay, so there may be a fated event where someone is met, love at first sight, because of what's inside of you. You both have some gift and ability that could be, you know, alike or whatnot. And you meet at an event, and that's your forever person. Like, I don't clickbait, right? I didn't put it in the caption, I didn't put it on the thumbnail, but that is here. And it could be someone that you may have spent a lifetime with. So I feel like this could be very deep and loving versus other relationships, in trying to date. Some people may be socially awkward or, like I said, just more introverted, but it's something about this person, this conversation, this relationship where things could get really deep. Okay, but either it's you or them. You just have to watch it a bit because they are a bit skittish. They may not like a lot of questions. They have talents and abilities. For some of you, it could be a starving artist. Y'all may frequent events. They may have a lot of people around them, and you could have to deal with that using your best discernment on some things that could be burning questions for you. Like, what are they doing? And who is that type deal? And then do you have any insecurities if they're surrounded by people that are very formal or traditional or classy or, bad or bosses, whatever y'all call each other. And then you start weighing yourself up to the environment, really gnawing at those insecurities or self-doubt and body image issues or whatever. So just be mindful of situations that are a catalyst for any shadow work that is on the back burner. Recovery from surgery, deformities. This, I know it sounds weird for somebody that it doesn't resonate with, but there is somebody, because it don't come up in my cards if it's just like some bullshit. So um those are some things that could be in the hopes and fears. I seen a dude on Instagram in a wheelchair that just talked about, he just not getting back to flirting and thinking he cute and stuff. After his whole life changed, right? That's a lifestyle change that you really see who fuck with you and who don't, or it pushes you forward to feel like, well, I ain't dead yet, so let that be some fire up under me to do some things that I've always wanted to do. Somebody done lost a leg or lost a foot and signed up for the Olympics, and it was like, I probably would have never done that without this, right? So I'm not saying that your situations are going to be that dramatic, but that's just an example of catalyst conversations, shadow work, universal laws, the law of attraction, and how things kind of happen to all of us for the greater good. You see how I said that? Because that's subjective. Um, but I think that that's super cute. Romantic connections arising from spiritual awakenings is pretty dope. And I'll pull a card or two on that for sure. Because we do have to still do a love reading and your finance reading. Oh, look, moving in together, traditional, like family oriented, possibly wealthy, marriage, a contract. What is this? This is practical. So, like, the relationship has a little chemistry in it, sex and all that is there. But it's more so about the goals and the values that you have, which I would prefer. Like, having the same core goals about money, about gender roles, traditions, outcomes, a legacy. I think that's teamwork. I'm being nosy. Now, some of you, it is moving away from financial trouble and becoming more stable. Others of you, it's a job that may help you do that, right? Because, I mean, I can't say I'm one of them or I'm not. But I have heard conversations where you have the entrepreneurs who telling the people with jobs, I don't see how y'all do it. And then the people with jobs got the money that the entrepreneurs asking to borrow a couple of dollars from. So it's like, how that work? Tell me how that go like that. So yeah, let's see. See what I'm saying? You got the Six of Pentacles with the Page of Wands. So for some of you, you may receive some news and or a generous offer. So if it's not a person, okay, or a friend giving you something, others of you, it could be also your beliefs behind reciprocity, giving and receiving. There could have been some deception. The Ten of Swords talks about rock bottom. So some people could be in negative financial situations and still need to have some sense of the goal in mind and how it would feel to accomplish that goal, and how would it feel to not be in the situations. Because if we're living in the moment and feeling these situations and becoming these situations and looking like these situations, then beloved, you are most definitely the situation. And then the guidance that we get is sometimes from super beings, right? Or non-human individuals who give us the game, but it sounds easier said than done. However, if you are Neo and this is the Matrix and you trying to look for that out or that loophole and the phone ring, but it's a phone across the alley and you got to flip road, climb up and get over there, you might want to answer the call. Ain't that what that happened in the Matrix? When they're in a tight spot or they need to get out of there, or just get, that was the thing. You got to answer the phone to be teleported. And see what I'm saying? Look, we just talked about like the third eye, telepathy, the Three of Cups. And then over here, we got answering the call. So stand on your toes. Hey, man, look, I'm trying to tell you. So just be mindful. Pisces, you got to the Two of Wands. So seeing the world as your oyster, and feeling like there'll always be enough, and then something happened that leads you back to spirit and kind of humbles you to, well, maybe that's not always true. So some of you guys try. So it's like, don't tell us to do that shit. I've tried it, and then something will happen, So how do you not become the situation? And visualizing, holding that focus, and releasing what's within and not holding it in, and it later just piles up and becomes resentment. So when it comes to the great work, some of us may need to get a little bit more competitive and acknowledge and understand that we have been chosen, right? When the raven or the crow shows up, it's like you have been chosen, but some things are distracting you. And I think it's other people where you think others are doing better than you, or you admire some things that others do, but you have the capacity and the sole purpose to do some great thing to be admired too. And this is a season or a year, right? Could be the year of the dragon. It could just be these last couple of months, Pisces. But you have the capacity to be just as great as some people or things that you admire. But it's that fear of not knowing exactly how it's going to pan out. I need to be sure before I make myself look stupid. Or, to have more confidence, I need those words of encouragement or some sort of proof that it's going to be happening for me. Otherwise, I'm just going to stay where I'm at. And then Spirit is like, no, thrive through chaos. Those of us that are uncomfortable with the tension, you might be getting some. And it also just talks about being a little bit more competitive. Everybody's looking for the needle in the haystack, but you know where it is and don't know where it is. You're being guided to it. That's an advantage. So if we're all looking for a needle in a haystack, but you got a Bluetooth in with some divine intervention, you don't have to know exact things. You're supposed to trust because it's your beliefs, or you might want to change your beliefs. While the door is open and Spirit is saying no one's judging, we're protecting you so that you could make some choices and decisions. And let's see what the next move or the best move is going to be. It's a period of like the voided moon or whatever, where you can just do shit. And it's not, the consequences aren't as they would be, let's just say, on another day. Right? So I would take that opportunity. If this is a age of grace or moment of grace, I've heard religious people say that when I ask them why don't they still uphold the traditions of that book, like it say. Um, oh, look, and as I was saying that, the Firefly came out, so I'm definitely gonna read that. But yeah, I'm like, why don't you? Oh, and the Cosmic Egg. Look at Spirit. It's like, yes. Ooh, and the Nine of Pentacles. We might be talking about some money or some letting something go, a release of some sort. Ooh. Okay, I got excited. You guys got a reward, and some effort that it matters, right? Because the Knight of Cups, his efforts are heartfelt. Is all I'm gonna say. And there's some sort of reward, appreciation, some sort of thank you, okay? And it may come with a little bit of increase. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. But for my Pisces that do have desires and can not let that root chakra completely die out, use a little bit of that fire. Not to say you got to be on the hunt or in heat or nothing like that. But embracing the fire helps with the imagination. Shit, humans was created in the imagination or the image of God or gods. So your imagination, your fire does have to be lit. And the firefly is the light in darkness. It could be the spark that lights your fire. And for some of y'all, it releases you from something, right? Whether there was like this, maybe it actually is an apology that helps you feel better. Others of you, it may have something to do with money luck, because I'm looking at those 9 pentacles, and the owl at the top of the deck also talks about money luck. So your awareness, the attention, the recognition, following your heart, paying attention to your guides, and strengthening your spiritual capacity could be where your abundance is, okay? Because something is hidden, and it does come to someone's attention. So let's see. We got 5 pentacles, 6 pentacles. So feeling left out in the cold, and then possibly having that conversation of when, where, and why. We've talked about that. We also have the buffalo, where it's like one person just bleeding themselves dry so that everybody can be okay. But it's like, who's doing that for you? And sometimes us thinking everything is going to be okay without really developing a plan and being 100% whimsical and loose could cause some sort of financial crises, because it's like we didn't anticipate change. That could also hinder a relationship or how someone feels about themselves. So we have that. Someone may adore your youth, which is cute. It also talks about letting go of judgmental thoughts, making a judgment that requires quick thinking. So for some of you, there may be something in the near future. Hey, we've talked about it. if this person comes back and you accept them, are you cutting cords and releasing yourself out of cycles? I don't know. But it could be things like that. So keep that in mind. If someone wants to talk, all the healing has been done, time has passed. Now I want to talk and work things out. Is that this newfound person, this new changed attitude, this new lifestyle that you guys are going to embark on? Or are you just like in a loop? So that's interesting. But yeah, the firefly popped out pretty hard, wanting our attention when I was talking about spirits. So let me see. The firefly in this deck talks about yeet fleeting. Okay, inspired and fantastic. Okay, so when I talked about somebody lighting your flame, child, getting some of that tiger energy, this talks about writes, creates, and brainstorms. So some of us need to become more passionate about doing the work and in the process, because that is where, let me tell you like this. I thought about it. Kanye West has made it to be a billionaire. And it wasn't his music, because here we got an artist. This raccoon is a starving artist or a new artist, right? For some of you it's an artist, others of you could be like makeup artists, right? Whatever. Some sort of artist. Now, his hard drive was stolen by a cousin. He lost so much of his music, and when people, still crack jokes about Kanye was the type of person that recorded songs all day and all night for no fucking reason, and then sat and wanted people to hear them all the time, which is annoying because I mean, we all know that. You see the people at the gas station or wherever you from, your cousins, or it could be you that just want everybody to hear it, check it out, look at it. So I thought about it. Even though that hard drive from all of that early music was stolen, even though he recorded every day and every night, did not put out even 40% of that shit, and still made it. I said that it had to be energy, that nothing was wasted. His perspective and his drive and his energy to have done all of that stuff, none of us bought it, but it still counted somewhere. Because when he thought of another idea that seemed to probably be less likely, come on, him making shoes, running shoes, Kanye, right? The rapper. And then look what it turned into. So an unexpected idea or some childhood dream. Maybe he wanted to be a designer, but because most people that looked like him or was in his area that were successful played sports or did music. So he was like, well, for me to be successful, I got to do one of these because fuck college, right? Remember, he dropped out. So my whole spiel, long story short, it's the journey and it's the energy. It may not just be the outcome or getting there. It's like your the value and the quality and the integrity of something you put in, how long you put it in, and what if that's how the points are tallied? So you keep having setbacks, or it's not as lucrative as you thought, or whatever the case may be, and it's like, but it's the work of the process. It's your audacity. It's your perspective. It's the energy that you're putting into those things that are collecting. And you ain't dead yet. So who's to say they're all just a waste? Because they may not be. I went to college for 4 things. I'm only wasting one. Because I would never the fuck ever in my life go anywhere near a dental office, an orthodontist office, and put on some scrubs and say, put my gloves on, sign me up. I don't like the way bone smells. That was like the first job that I ever had. I was a dental assistant. I did dental hygiene. And no thank you. After that, it went to business, law, and then, of course, in my own time, entertainment, and now fashion. So, yeah, I ain't in the medical field. I can't do the germs and stuff. But that is what I have, good people, and I do hope that it helps. Until next time. Oh, did I pull your angel answer cards? I'm so rude. Okay. So y'all can ask the question and pick a number 1, 2, or 3, or just ask 3 questions, and I will do your angel answer cards. I was like, I ain't even do shit. Just sitting here talking. But yeah, that was kind of refreshing for me to even just have that perspective. Like, okay, you may not get paid for everything that you do now, But what if all of that energy is collecting? And if you just never quit, it still counts as experience in a higher court, in the spiritual realm, and possibly even in the physical realm as well. Because sometimes to get those big $100,000, $500,000 business loans and shit, you do need a business that's been open a year or two and at least 3 employees or consistent incoming payments. What is wrong with taking the time to do that? Nothing. So even for me, if I have downtime in any of my businesses, I just consider what my goal is. So if it's a hard quarter, if it's a hard year, if it's a hard 2 or 3 years, I mean, then you got to probably get back to the drawing board. But a hard year, it's just like, that's cool. Keep it afloat, hold it steady, keep it active, keep your paperwork up to date. And if nothing else, it's going to look really good to an investor or a sponsor when you say this business was established 3, 4 years ago. That is possibly a great icebreaker to start a conversation with an investor or a sponsor. Because you're not just somebody with a whimsical idea starting something just to quit it again, like the card said. Somebody who easily starts things and stops things. Um, Spirit told me to shut up. So anyway, so maybe they got the message. Okay, good, good. Okay, so question 1. Let's see. Group 1, question 1. What is your angel answer? Okay. I saw that a second ago. It came out. I thought Spirit was talking to me. It's talking to group 1. Okay, cool. Group 2, there's yours. Group 3, there is yours. Oh, I'll take that. And at the bottom of the deck for the collective, we have abundance. Yes, indeed. All right, group 1. I ain't gonna lie. You gotta know. And then it says, let go. I thought Spirit was talking to me. I was like, okay, maybe I'm going too deep in. Let me shut up. But it was like, no, that was for group 1. So I reshuffled and the same card came out. Group 2, question 2. You have weight. All right. And then group 3, question 3, you have get more information. See, so whomever is coming back to have a conversation, to be honest, they still holding back some shit. And then others may return after they see you grow. Because the raccoon is over here, the sneaky one that's hiding some shit, is over here after the let go, after the independence, after we broke out of the cycle, after we shifted our energy, after some sort of appreciation, recognition, awareness. For some of you guys, it could even be after a show. Like there could be an event or a show or something like that, and somebody is like, I want to talk to you. Maybe it was after, one of their events. Maybe you guys had a date or they invited you somewhere you didn't go. Don't know. But it just says to get more information. Wait and get more information and let go. Could sometimes come up when we just have anxieties and we don't even truly believe. Because Spirit is like, you can have whatever it is that you want, but I'm going to answer you based on your deep down feelings about it, because you got the well right here. So it's like if I say I want something, or if I ask a question and it's like deep down inside, I'm insecure, scared of it, don't believe it, or got some negative energy or thoughts tied to it, then my guides would say, let it go. Don't worry. Just get off of that. Because it's like you want your perspective may not be where it needs to be. And then, oh my gosh, when it says there could be more information, you might not know the entirety of the person, the situation. And it also talks about the self, because you want to do something now, but how good are you with finishing things, right? And then we don't want to keep piling up incompletions, right? Don't want to say failures, incompletions, because we start feeling incomplete. Because in the back of our minds, we know the truth. We know that we start a whole bunch of shit, don't finish nothing. This person that want to try it again and have this conversation or say their attitudes is changed, they better now. I don't know about them. But it is your choice. It is your decision. And I hope that it helps.